Food security is one of the most pressing issues faced by countries in Asia and the Pacific, including the Philippines. Developing Asia accounts for more than half of the undernourished population in the world, according to the Asian Development Bank, or ADB. About 40% of the region's workforce are also employed in jobs related to agri-food systems. My name is Luisa, a senior reporter for BusinessWorld. For this episode, we are joined by ADB Country Director for the Philippines, Pavit Ramachandran, in an interview on the sidelines of the ADB's annual meeting here in Milan, Italy. He shares with us the latest developments and initiatives by the multilateral bank to further enhance and strengthen food systems in the Philippines and the overall region. We still have today and tomorrow to go for the annual meeting, but I wanted to ask how it's been going in the answers you sent me for prior to the meeting.
Right.
You'd mentioned that the Philippines' role for this year's meeting is both strategic and forward-looking. So maybe you could share a bit about the discussions you've had so far, especially when it comes to our development priorities. So how has it been so far? Thank you.
No, I think it's been very productive. It's been a very busy few days already. A series of meetings. You were there for the President's opening remarks. We had the Governor's business session yesterday, where, of course, Philippines made a statement as well. From our side, we've had a number of meetings with bilateral partners, with some private sector entities. Looking forward very much to this economic dialogue that the Philippines will launch. It will be part of that, ADB. I have an intervention. Our DG Vinny will close that session. So I think it's a good opportunity for Philippines to showcase what they've been doing on the reform front, to highlight some of their macroeconomic fundamentals. Milan is obviously a very attractive venue for investors. I think this solidifies some of the partnership between Europe and Asia as well. This whole conference is actually, in a way, a bridge, right? So that's an important thing. And in terms of the priorities that actually President Kanda laid out yesterday, this resonates very strongly with what we're doing in Philippines. Our country partnership strategy, those 4 areas that he touched on in terms of food systems modernization, digital connectivity, and also bridging the digital divide, the work on energy systems modernization and connectivity and resilience, climate resilience, community resilience, infrastructure resilience. I think these are all areas that we have active engagement in the Philippines and actually are ramping up support as well. So I think we are very well positioned. Philippines, first of all, is very well positioned, I think, on those areas and ADB, I think, in terms of our support, I think we have good entry points across all of those areas. Yeah.
And President Kanda had mentioned up to 40 billion worth of financing for food security just a few days ago. Just wanted to get an idea. I had spoken also to Mr. King Chan.
Yes, he's our senior director
for agriculture. So he had mentioned that this financing will be allocated based on the demands of each country.
Right.
Just wanted to get an idea from you if it has already been discussed. How will the Philippines benefit from this very important financing? Have there been initial talks on what kinds of projects it could possibly support for the Philippines?
So agriculture and food security is a very important area for us in the Philippines, looking ahead, right? So as you said, bank-wide, there's been we're scaling up our support on food systems transformation from 14 billion to 40 billion, right? So it's almost I guess more than a doubling, almost a tripling of our resources by 2030. In the Philippines, we are now seeing a real interest from the government to do big transformative work around food systems. A few areas that we'd like to, I should highlight. We have a project preparatory facility that we are helping design now, which will help prepare these large initiatives in the AFNR space, agriculture, food, and natural resource space. So first, we have plans around port development. I think Department of Agriculture has ambitious plans on ports. These are roll-on, roll-off ports, fishing ports, ports for exports. They're also looking at work on aquaculture, important area in the Philippines, of course, given its coastal belt, and also on irrigation. So large-scale irrigation with solar powered, so piped irrigation. We are in the process of now preparing for delivery this year a program on blue economy. So this is a policy-based loan, again with very strong linkages to food security, right? Just given the dependence of the coastal communities on fisheries and just on the aquatic environment. But this will also have a biodiversity link, which of course is also directly related to food security. So a lot happening, I think, in terms of our ADB program and support in the Philippines related to food security. We will also continue to do a lot on flood disaster resilience. So this is covering priority river basins. Again, this is important for irrigation and ensuring sustainable food harvest, right? So I think across the board, lot happening in the food security space. This project preparatory facility that we are designing is very similar to what we have for the transport sectors. So we have a large scale project preparation facility which we have with the government called the IPIF, Infrastructure Preparation Innovation Facility, and this has been really instrumental and has been a game changer really to drive infrastructure development across these infrastructure flagship projects. So projects like the Batan Cavite Bridge, the Malolos Clark, the Davao Bus project, the Laguna Lakeshore Road Network were all supported by this facility. So mirroring this, we'll now have, on a smaller scale of course, an agriculture support facility.
So you're going to take the model from the infrastructure facility?
Yes, so that's really the inspiration for it. Yeah.
And is it a little too early to give an estimate of the 40 billion, how much usually will be allocated to Southeast
by
Asia
country?
In the Philippines? Or it's too early to...
Yeah, no, I think it'll be, I don't want to get into that level of specificity because this is a programming thing. It will be spelled out based on, first of all, country demand and needs, and then calibrated based on our blending envelopes per country, and the potential for actually also catalyzing private sector because it's not only public sovereign investment.
A little bit more on food systems. During a speech, President Kanda repeatedly mentioned the fragility of food systems in Asia. So given all of these efforts the ADB is doing, maybe just your insight on what are the pain points of our own food systems here in the Philippines, and what are the most crucial parts that we need to address that you see?
Yeah. So we know that in the recent past there has been challenges with food price inflation, and of course that has impacts on the rural poor largely, but also on the urban segment where the food basket is a big part of their purchasing power and their expenditure. So that first of all has been a challenge, but we're now seeing inflation being brought largely under control now at 2%, and food prices have also come down. But it still remains a challenging situation. I think emergency stocks, buffer stocks, Philippines is looking at releasing some of that. There's been also discussions around food imports, but it, I think, has to be a holistic solution, right? So it can't only be a demand side. There's also supply side issues around making sure farmers have access to credit, information, insurance, technology, supporting them with irrigation systems, something that we are looking to also engage with. So I think that's the whole package that we need to be looking at. And some of the logistics infrastructure needs, I mentioned ports as well. So I think that will also have a major impact. In the Philippines, the other challenge really is around energy. and looking at the energy food nexus. So we have also work that we're doing in the energy sector to essentially help with reducing the cost of energy, ensuring stability of the grid and energy access, which will also have synergistic positive impacts on food security and the food sector.
Apart from food security and agriculture, the Multilateral Lenders Country Partnership Strategy, which covers the years 2024 to 2029, is also focused on human development, infrastructure, disaster resilience, and economic competitiveness, among others. Again, we thank Mr. Pavit Ramachandran, ADB Country Director for the Philippines, for joining us. This has been another episode of B-Side. Subscribe now and enjoy industry insights on Philippine business and beyond.